I'm going to share with you some of the best base locations in V Rising. For single player, for multiplayer, there's different reasons for different ones. On single player, it's real simple. Multiplayer gets a little bit more complicated. So like, for single player, let's start with that. And just generally like location type areas to give you some good ideas here. So as a noob, right out of the gate, one of the best places for your first castle is going to be north of this vampire waygate, somewhere around the bandit armory on the map. Because this is a pretty central location for the early game and mid game, because you'll be able to get to the iron mine and easily get back to your base and not have to go run for miles basically to get back. You'll be able to get to all of the starting stuff within a reasonable amount of time, because there's a boss you need to kill here, a boss you need to kill over here, you know, and so it's like you're right in the center. You can go and do it, you can come back without it being totally obnoxious and take forever. And then again, when you get to the like mid game, you've got the monastery and the village right nearby. You've got the iron mine right nearby. And those are like the three main things that you want from the Dunley farmlands. So that's great. That's going to be perfect. Then when you get to the late game, which is Silverlight Hills, this is actually the late game area. Cursed Forest is kind of late game, but the Silverlight Hills is actually more late game. So when you finally get to the actual late game, your base is still in a pretty reasonable position to be able to bring stuff back to your base from this area. But then for your second base, and this is still talking single player, okay, or this is like ideal scenario, even on a multiplayer server, if you're on a multiplayer server where you don't have to worry about your base getting destroyed and you're not trying to hide your base, basically. If you're not trying to hide your base, then yeah, first base in there, that's why, in my opinion. Then for your second base, in my opinion, most cases, you generally just want to use your second base as a waygate, to add a waygate somewhere on the map, because later on, if you don't know, you get to add one of these to your bases where you can, add these to your bases where you can use it as a waygate, and you just teleport from anywhere. Well, not from anywhere, from your base though. So anyway, so one of the best places to put a waygate base is going to be just north of Brighthaven Cathedral. There's this whole place here for you to slip a base in somewhere. Ideally, you'll want it right here. You could maybe try to slam one over here if you're on a populated server or something. But this area to the north of Brighthaven is amazing, because not only are you right next to the silver mine, but you're also right next to Brighthaven, which, if you don't know, later on in the game you get human form when you kill a certain boss. I can't show you now because I'm out of blood right now. I don't have a heart on me, but there's human form, which will let you slowly creep through the city, avoiding, there's the priest, the cleric, and the paladin, and they're like NPCs that roam around. There's multiple of them. Those are the only ones you have to avoid. Everything else you can just walk right past, and you go through there. You can loot silver coins, imperial thread, schematics, and randomly, if you find like the big yellow chests that take a moment to unlock, they can sometimes have gear like this royal veil of the jester and things like that. So it's a really nice place to go and gather resources. You can get fish oil, you can get golden jewelry, you can go and just get all this, like these things. You can break crates, open chests, whatever, get a full inventory, and then you just come back, you sneak out, come back to your base, put it away. Wait 24 hours, and then everything respawns, and then you can go and do it again, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again. So it's a great location. Just the reason I like it for me is I go and do other stuff, and then after I'm done doing something, it's been like a day or two in the game, I go travel over here again, and I grab the easy stuff out of Brighthaven Square. There's a house right there you can loot. There's a house right here you can loot, and then I look for chests, and then I get out, and then I go do something else again, and I just come back in a day using the waygate. It's amazing. Best base location in the game, in my opinion. The other alternative for a waygate base like that would be in the Cursed Forest. Ideally, you'd want to put it back in this zone up here in the corner. And the reason you would want to do this is because of this village right here. There's an ancient village here where you can get spectral dust and schematics and stuff. I mean, it's not really that great, but it gets you fast travel to this side of the Cursed Forest, which the Cursed Forest looks small, but gosh, getting from this waygate all the way to this village actually feels terrible when there's like invisible monster guys and stuff on the way that are like super annoying to like run past. So that would be an option. It would also put you next to the spider cave, which is the other real thing that's unique to this area. You get silkworm and scales. Be able to farm those. So that is an okay location. and it'll give you a waygate that, covers the other half of this place. Other than that, though, if you're looking for a waygate base, there's really, if your central base is right here, there's really the best one is just right here. I mean, there's really nothing that's going to even get close to that as far as utility. If you don't want to do it there, then if you're just looking for somewhere cool to put it, then you could put it over here on this mountain area. That would be that's a pretty cool place to have it. Other than that, it's just any of these like hill areas where you see these multi-layer things would be pretty cool to have a castle. You could control the entire zone and have stairs going up and down one of those. There's ones right there. It's really about what environment. If you're just doing it for aesthetics, cosmetics, aesthetics, you're just doing it for how it looks, then it's really just going to come down to one of these mountain-like zones, and it's just what zone do you want to have it in? Do you want to have it in a swamp? Do you want to have it in a dry, hilly, mountainous-looking area? Do you want it in a green grassland area? Do you want it in kind of a foresty area? That's really what you're making your decision based off. I mean, there's cool stuff right here. You got like waterfalls and things right here on a mountain. You got more just mountains. It's really looking for one of these mountain areas, or you could try to slip it if you just want like a flat zone. You can try to find one of these flat zones like right here and just throw it down, or a good one is up here to the northwest of the Dunley farmlands. There's lots of flat areas you can put back in this corner. You can put it up here in the north, in here somewhere. If you want water, lakes, ponds around. If you want to be by a river, there's a river right here. Like, you're mainly looking for stuff like that for cool zones. There's also this cool area up here in the swamplands. Although on a multiplayer server, this will probably be taken by somebody who wants a base just for aesthetics, but if it's not taken and you want one that's just a cool place to have a castle, that'd be a decent place. Just a plateau right there. This area right here is also, you can tell, just meant for castles. So there's all these zones in the game where there's nothing there other than wolves and deer, and it's just basically meant to be a place where you throw down castles. Like, here's another one. So it's really up to you on where you want to put it if you want to just do it for aesthetics. But if you're doing it for utility, you're really going to want your main base somewhere central like this in the center of the world. And then the second one, I really can't think of a better one, because like you get late game, you need silver, you need golden jewelry, imperial thread, and schematic. You need all these things. So it's like you might as well just throw down one over here for a waygate, because this waygate is not close enough. Going from that waygate, if you die and you have to go to that waygate on a respawn and run back, it feels so bad. I've done it before. I've done it a lot of times actually before putting this base down, and it was terrible. It takes like 3 minutes in wolf form, 5 minutes in wolf form or something to get from there to there. Terrible. Not fun at all. So that's my suggestions. That's what I think about best base locations. There's really only so many options. It's really, do you want one for aesthetics, how it looks, or do you want one for utility? And as for, your main base, it's like you just throw it down here and put it somewhere that you think will be cool long term, like up on this hill right here would be a good one if it's not taken, or this hill right here if it's not taken, or one of these other hills that they're not taking. Or if you want flatlands, just tuck it back in this corner over here. It depends on you and what you want for your castle, what type of style you want for your castle, and that type of thing. But hopefully that helps you out. I've seen the whole map basically, and that's my opinion on where the best base locations are in V Rising.